Hello, today I will show you how I made my short film Dragon Tears. So let me take you through the creative process of making a film. Enjoy. The story of this film is pretty simple. It's about a creature and its rider who travel together to deliver a sort of crystal. However, when the rider stays at an overnight tavern, a red dragon burns up the place to the ground, killing everyone inside. The next morning, the creature wakes up to its rider dead, and has to decide whether or not to finish the mission on its own. The creature eventually gets to the cave of the recipient and comes face to face with a blue dragon. Just as the crystal is given back to the dragon, it is called outside where it must overcome the very same red dragon that set fire to the tavern earlier. It eventually triumphs over the evil, and everything returns to a calm shade of blue. That's just the short version. This film was animated in Blender 3D, and let me start off by saying one thing. Animation is really hard, at least the way I did it. Let me explain. Every shot will look something like this and will be cel shaded to make it look more 2D, a bit like Breath of the Wild. Every creature was fully modelled and rigged by me and animated like so. Every background in the film was also painted by me with Procreate, mainly to save time, but also to help solve the main problem with the visual side of this film. Now I think this film looks okay at best. After all, cel shading is very hard to get right, but this style is not a choice. I'm limited by the hardware I have at hand. My computer starts to lag a lot when there are this many entities on screen, and when it comes to rendering, it could be up to 20 seconds per frame. This shot alone took over an hour to render out. And even with previous films like Cast Iron, you will notice that that film looks a lot better than this one. But that's only because there is really only one thing on screen at all times, and that is the mechanical dragon. On a happier note, the characters are posed and animated so much better than in previous films. They just move a lot smoother and convey their weight a lot better, unlike Cast Iron, where the characters moved a bit quicker than they really should. Or even in films before that, everything just feels a bit weightless. So now that you understand the story, I should probably tell you what most of it actually means. The crystal sort of object that the creature delivers to the blue dragon is a relic that once fell from a dragon, hence why it's called the Dragon Tear. It is able to restore the power of the blue dragon to help it overcome an enemy. The rider and its creature had been tasked with returning it, however the red dragon that is seen later notices this and tries to stop the mission at hand, knowing full well that it could be taken down by the power of this object. Once the creature returns the crystal, the red dragon calls for the blue dragon to come out and fight. This works, and the two of them battle each other. By the way, I did give names to the characters. This is John, named after the car, this is Creature, named after its weirdness, and these are the Azure and the Crimson Dragon, named after their respective colours. Now sound is the part where I think I did very well in most parts, because the first two tracks that play in the film were actually created by me, these two here. Please tell me if I should make full versions of them. The sound effects are a 50-50 split between the YouTube audio library and my own voice, but some of them were fun to make, such as using paper and other objects to make the effects. I am very proud of this film. It's not my favourite, but I've learned not to have a favourite film, as you constantly remind yourself every day that it could have been as good as your favourite film that you've ever made. But this is a different film. It was never meant to be the best, it was just meant to be different. This film could have also been made in a lot less time. The problem was that we were away for most of the time that I was making this, so that meant I had to make the first half on my laptop. which explains why the fire looks questionable. But trust me, it could have looked a lot worse. So here's some early footage on my first take. It was so bad that I just had to remake every scene to give it that extra polish. But looking back now, I don't think I'd change anything else. All of its flaws and small imperfections that plague this film gives me that extra chance to look at it and think, wow, I made that mistake, and I know not to do it next time. Thank you for watching. I'm going to take a short break, and then I guess I'm going to get back to it. I mean, I love making films, and I'm not stopping anytime soon. So I'm just going to keep going and going until I get better at it. Goodbye.